Show Your Mouth Lounge, episode 279.
The other way around, 297.
He's gone back in time, baby.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So there's Addie, and there's Pink, and how many hours of sleep did you guys get last night?
297.
I'm trying to think, because
Damn!
it was like 3 a.m. when I went to sleep, and then I woke up at 8. A little before 8, so that's
5.
5. Yeah. It's that's a lot less sleep than I was anticipating, but also slightly a bit more, maybe? I don't know.
I honestly can't
Yeah.
tell you how much sleep I got because I went to sleep at around like 2, maybe 3 myself. It was around 3 a.m. And then I just kind of woke up and I did Persona for the entire day. So it's like hours don't exist. There's only fucking mementos.
I see. I definitely got less than 3. And so today, I'd be dumb.
Just like any other day, but now you're tired as well.
Yes.
Alright, well I guess Pink. Anything coming out on your channel?
Yes, I will have a Stronghold Definitive Edition demo coming out on my channel this week. I did, in fact, do a recording with the OBS, and it worked greatly. So that was a quite great experience to have. And in addition to that, I'm going to be having more NXT Universe mode coming out. And Dead by Daylight, I think? I don't remember. I think there's at least a 20-minute video with me, Mike, and maybe Alex talking in a call while me and Mike play Dead by Daylight. Maybe a Soon Dragon as well, but I don't remember. Because I was recording a lot of stuff, and my computer got a little bit full, so I didn't want to record much more because I still have to export all those stuff into smaller files, but then those files take up more space, and then it just keeps kind of doing a Hydra type of thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to overload my memory and then have to do a quick panicky delete a bunch of stuff or uninstall a bunch of things to just make sure I have room. So there's been a lot of choppy recordings of Dead by Daylight, so it's not quite chronologically sound, but it's there. So I'll probably have a couple of those videos coming out this week. But aside from all that stuff, I think that's all my channel's gonna have.
Alright.
Alright.
Well, my channel, let's see, nothing that as usual. Hopefully next week I can actually start working on stuff again. Currently I'm still kind of deadlocked with stuff for the university because they like sent a thing of like, hey, this was on Friday. Hey, if you don't post this and this doesn't reach us by Monday, like the start of Monday, then even though we accepted you, it doesn't fucking count. This needs to be printed, and it needs to be posted, like properly, physically posted to us.
That sounds like college, yes.
So, yeah, I've been we're like trying to get that stuff done. There's also the problem of like I'm gonna be going through college long distance, which means that I only have to go in on like Fridays and Saturdays. Problem is, most of my classes are on Saturdays, and in fact, they overlap each other, and I don't know what to do. So,
Well, as Mike was saying the other day, you need to contact somebody at the school about that because the school will not retroactively take credit for that. The school will not retroactively blame itself for that. If you wind up missing classes because they overlap and you contact the school afterwards and say, hey, you fucked me on this, they are not going to say like, "Whoops, sorry, we'll undo that." What they're going to say is, "Well, you should have let us know sooner."
Yeah. So yeah, but because of all of that stuff, I don't know, like, I haven't really been focusing on trying to get like videos done.
Understandably so.
So yeah, that's an update for my channels, I guess. W.
Hey, yeah, let's see. It is just I will for the next week be following just simply a pattern alternating of Conan Exiles multiplayer with generally some mixture of Mike, Soon, and Pink. Who's on for any given episode is kind of a toss up, but there you go. And on the other days, it'll be Total War Warhammer. For right now, I'm playing through with Mother Ostankia. I do not know what potential plans there are in the future. And there you go.
All right. Well, for the group channel, we have Danganronpa on Monday. Then on Tuesday, we have Fighting Games R. It's back.
Yeah.
Then on Wednesday, we have Dark Souls 2. More of it. Thursday, it's another short. Then on Friday, Ryoko wins in Cardinal's Revenge.
Yes.
And then did we run out of Street Fighter videos? Did I fuck up the? I don't know. Saturday, there's nothing scheduled for Saturday. I think that's supposed to be the Street Fighter slot, but maybe I fucked something up. Who knows?
Yeah. Whoever knows, I certainly don't.
So yeah, that's it for the group channel.
All right. So, the topic we were thinking, and I'm still sleep deprived, so forgive me if I mess this up, is what's one game or series that you really like or love from a genre that you're otherwise not very fond of? And conversely, what is one commonly beloved, what is one popular game or franchise in a genre you love, that nonetheless, though, you don't like the game or franchise? And I guess we'll throw it to Addy first.
All right. Let me go through the list. No. uh,
Oh,
there's a yeah. But
I just said, ooh.
yeah, there's a lot that I can say here because I cast a wide net with games. So like I play genres that I don't like routinely, just because like I try not to be judgmental with games that are like I have been pleasantly surprised by games in genres that I wouldn't have liked, or don't like otherwise. Now, a couple of games that I like in genres that I don't like are stuff like Dust and Elysian Tale, which I think was a very interesting take on Metroidvanias, even though it's not that far from the source. Flat Out 2 is a very cool racing game. Mostly because of the bonus stuff that they added on top of it, but still, it's also kind of fun as a racing game. Let's see what
I just
else.
want to do lawn darts with humans.
Yeah. Uh, hmm. I'm sure there are others. I guess would we count Persona as a series for JRPGs?
I mean, it's definitely a series, yes.
But I mean, like, I don't know if I'd count it as like the Soul series that I like in JRPGs. Because like technically I like Chrono Trigger too, and Chrono Trigger is also a JRPG.
Yeah, though, if we want to be like super exclusive here, we may never actually find an answer.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, Then for the contrary, there's also a couple answers there, because like, for example, Mega Man. Like if Mega Man counts here, that depends on your definition of a running gun. Because if you count Mega Man as a running gun, then I don't like Mega Man. So I don't like Mega Man as a running gun.
Yeah.
Then again, at the same time, I also don't count Mega Man as a running gun. It's an action platformer, which is close but not the same.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was gonna say like GTA, because that's one of those things where like I like open world games, but I don't like GTA, which was the progenitor. But at the same time, do I like open world games anymore? I can like them when they're done well, but that's like most games. You like any game that's done well, assuming it's done well enough.
Heh.
Hmm. I guess KI.
Killer Instinct. Yeah, Killer Instinct is that would be a pretty big one that sticks out.
Yeah, because I had to go through my list of like, well, is there like a major fighting game franchise that I don't like?
I mean, there's definitely ones where you dislike at least half of them, if not over half of them.
But yeah, but then do I still dislike the series instead of just those games?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like out of all of the fighting game series that I can think of, the only two that I dislike, or that I dislike all every installment of them, are like KI and Clay Fighter. And Clay Fighter, like I'll give credit where it's due.
KI not a relevant answer.
Yeah, I was about to say like I'll give KI credit where it's due. It is not Clay Fighter.
The early ones are pretty close.
I guess. But yeah, I guess those are my answers.
Alrighty. Let me see. Off the top of my head. Oh. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm moving my limbs and my body.
That can be dangerous.
Yes, it was, on this occasion, I think, an unwise choice. I should have simply maintained stasis. Well, let's see. In terms of a genre that I ordinarily don't like, see, I'm the kind of person generally, if I don't like something, I don't tend to. Okay, we might be in for this kind of day today, guys. I would be lying if I said I don't want to, when this podcast is done, immediately go to sleep. But either which way, let's see. See, now I'm struggling to come up with any good answers that Addie didn't already provide. Pink, if you've got any ideas, shoot, brother, because I'm not coming up with any.
For which question? The games we like and genres that we don't, or genres we like but games that we don't?
Yeah, if you've got one stored up for either, then
yeah, I'll just do that. So the first one comes to mind, and it feels like kind of a lazy answer because of the group of friends that we circulate in, but nonetheless, it's an answer I am in legitimate possession of. Nonetheless, is that I quite enjoy myself a good RPG and a good Bethesda RPG, but I bounce off Skyrim pretty hard. I loved Fallout New Vegas. I really liked Fallout 4 and Fallout 3. And I even played Fallout 2, and that's a game, alright. But when I played Skyrim, I don't know, it didn't really grab me in any meaningful way. I wasn't really a fan. Go ahead.
Fundamentally looking for a different experience than Fallout New Vegas did, or to a lesser degree, Fallout 3 or 4.
Right.
Skyrim is more or less a game that does not care about presenting an interesting world or story for you to get into.
Yeah, and it was, the grinding in Skyrim is a lot different than that of the Fallout series, because in the Fallout series, specifically with New Vegas and 3, it was always interesting how you were able to play the game. It always felt very unique and different, because every time you level up, you get all those little points that you can invest into your individual stats, and then you get all the perks and whatnot. And as far as I recall, there's no such similar system in Skyrim. Do you want to level up archery?
Yeah.
Go find a bow and shoot some arrows, nerd.
Start shooting random people on the street.
Yep.
If you do it while crouched, no one will care.
Yeah, it's great. And I didn't really like that system. I didn't like having to do the real life simulation of, oh, you're gonna suck at this thing real hard at first, but then over time you'll get better. Because okay, but how do I improve my speech? Do I just go fumble in front of the ladies for hours on end until I get my speech skill up to 69 proper?
No, you pick up a fork, you sell it to a merchant, you buy it from a merchant, you buy it back, you sell it to him, you buy it back, you sell it to him, you buy it back.
Haha. Secrets of life are unfolding before my eyes.
Pink is stepping into Chim.
I really did like the 10 or so hours I spent with Morrowind. Morrowind is hilarious because there are about 24 more RPG skills in Morrowind than there are in Skyrim, several of which are for rather mundane actions. And it was a common joke, that Skyrim, the best way to do things is to walk everywhere crouched so that you're constantly building up your sneak skill, which is generally correct, and sneak is a good skill to build up. But in Morrowind, it would start to be a thing. For one thing, just walking at all built up athletics, which was great, because that's now going to wind up being a skill that everyone specs into, unless you're just going to be standing still the entire game. Just stuck there at the very beginning with the Dark Elf slave and the slave ship. Another skill is acrobatics, a skill which you improve. Acrobatics is a skill that dictates how high you jump and how little fall damage you take. And you improve it by jumping.
Okay.
So, notoriously in Morrowind, you'll be spending a lot of time going places while bunny hopping.
I see. I like it.
And because Morrowind is insane, eventually that starts paying off in such a degree where your character will, under their own natural bodily power, through no usage of magic, will be able to jump 50 feet into the air. What's that boinging? What is that thing that is boinging up and down in parabolic arcs in the direction of our village? Oh, it's the Hero of Time. I will say, I have come up with my own answer for for one of the questions. But Pink, if you've got an answer for the other question, then feel free to wrap yours up or
Yeah,
whatever.
I'll wrap mine up real quick with the genres that I don't like, but a game I really like from it. And this is kind of a cheat because it kind of is still not in the same genre, but it kind of is we've discussed it in depth before. I don't like racing games. Like at all. I don't like cars. Like at all. I don't like driving. Like at all. I don't like
That's
wheels.
2 racing game answers. That very much confirms I should not answer with a racing game.
Now, however, one game specifically, from one series specifically, I really did enjoy, and that was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And this is a bit of a cheat because in that game you get to play as a police officer and go ram into people that are driving too fast. And it's great. I loved it. The game's old as hell, but I played it several years back and it still holds up. Very, very enjoyable game.
Was that one of the first to have dynamic vehicle damage?
I don't know what dynamic vehicle damage is, but it does have vehicle damage.
Yeah, okay, that was a very imprecise term that I'm sure was just used as marketing speak at some point. But like, was that one of the first ones where you could like knock a car's bumper off or its doors off?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I that the whole 2000s era of racing games where each one had a little innovation. It's easy to get mixed up in my mind, you know?
Right.
Now there are a bunch of Need for Speed games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In,
they
in, in
still
fact,
go
in
today.
in fact, you can just say Need for Speed Most Wanted, and you can talk about like 3 or 5 games. I forget.
That sounds right. I mean, in the modern era where there's Forza and it's 6 Forza games and 6 Forza Horizons,
But yeah, but that's a
you
series.
know,
The ones I'm talking about, Most Wanted was one of the subtitles for one of the games in Need for Speed, and there's I want to say 2 or 3 other games that are also titled Most Wanted that will release later.
yeah.
So, and the only thing that is setting them apart is the release date and the logo, maybe.
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure there's more like technical differences because they came out like, well, at least the first the original Most Wanted and the second one came out like 10 years apart at least. But still, it's one of those things where like, if I say Need for Speed Most Wanted, am I talking about the original or am I talking about the new one? Or am I
I
talking
think
about the new one that they're gonna be releasing shortly, if memory serves?
it's incredible when I look back and I realize that if you exclude kart racing games, there is so little I know about the history of racing video games. And even when it comes to kart racing games, it's largely just that what few racing games I have put a lot of time into have been Mario Kart 8 or Crash Tag Team Racing. So I'm far from an expert there. Because hell, I can't tell you. Like when I try to think of the Mario Kart series history, I know that there was a game called Super Mario Kart at some point in its history. I know there was one called Double Dash at some point in its history, but I couldn't tell you how the hell we got to 8.
All you need to know is that Double Dash was the best and is the only competitively viable Mario Kart. Anyone who tells you otherwise is a liar. They're lying to your
Yeah,
face.
But
that is true.
you need the fucked up GameCube controllers to play it with because then you can wave dash with the cars.
You need the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller.
Yeah, that
Oh
just
boy, yeah, I've been.
that just turns it into a combat racer.
Yeah, kill one of the other racers to succeed.
Everybody's laughing until Mario pulls out a Glock.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
yeah.
you remember when Mario Kart 8 was like first launched, the Serious Luigi meme, right?
Yeah.
Which that one was pretty great. I need that GIF. That GIF is still one of the best GIFs to ever come out of any video game. I'm gonna see if I can.
I mean, I just also like the idea of like a cutscene or whatever, where it's normal Mario Kart graphics, and then Mario just pulls out a realistic clock. It's very Shadow the Hedgehog vibes.
There would definitely be several Gary's Mod animations of that.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, there we go. There's the GIF. And then there's a derivative. I put it in the voice chat because I'm stupid.
Oh yeah.
All right. Nonetheless, yeah, that's see, the issue I've run into mentally is that there's not really any genre that I can like distinctively think of that I would say I really despise, except for like whatever Afterburner is, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, which in that genre, besides Afterburner, there's Star Fox and not really anything else.
There's that Sega game, Space Harrier. There we go. That's the name of it.
And yeah, and there's the issue. I don't like any of those games.
Yeah.
So would it be cheating if I, instead of giving an answer of here's a game I do like from a genre that I despise, would it be cheating if I instead gave an answer just simply of, well, here's a game I really like from a genre I have very little experience with, and what experience I do have is with fringe side titles that I know are not an accurate representation of that given genre, but nonetheless I really didn't like them.
Go for it.
All right, I'm going to say loot-based RPGs. The primary representation I've had for loot-based RPGs has generally been Borderlands and a few Borderlands and adjacent games. And we're brushing with broad strokes here. But, that is a first-person shooter RPG. But nonetheless, I don't like Borderlands. Not a fan, personally. It's just never struck me. Every now and then I'll pick up a character in Borderlands that I dig, but I never really stick with them for that long anyways.
Yeah.
However, in terms of a loot-based RPG, a constant cycle of loot-based RPG that I did really like, Marvel Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Reppin' pepperoni. Play Doctor Strange. Get his all his abilities set up, get his skills set up so that you're constantly casting spells. Pick up a Doctor Strange item, set of gloves that makes it where every time you cast a spell, there's a 25% chance of summoning a mindless one. You're casting a spell every second. Every second, there's a 25% chance to summon a mindless one.
You're also Doctor Strange, so you can just grow other arms, more gloves.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. One of Doctor Strange's spells that he can cast is make a astral projection clone of yourself. And the astral projection...
Yeah, go ahead.
The astral projection clone of yourself casts a double of every spell you cast. Take the skill where you can make up to 8 extra astral projection clones of yourself. Cast 9 spells every second. Run the odds of 25% odds of summoning a mindless one 9 times every second. Have people join the server, go to the center of Central Park in New York, and go, what the fuck? What is that? What is the Doctor Strange player doing? Be amazed at what the Doctor Strange player does. Watch in amazement as a singular enemy hits Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange dies.
I started laughing in the middle of your monologue because I thought you were gonna say Doctor Strange has a spell just called More Arms.
That would have been an interesting twist on it. That could have been a different skill you'd take in the RPG. Lose access to the astral projection clones as decoys, but hey, you don't get this downside anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just remembered something real fucking good.
Yeah.
Rogue had a thing in that game. She had an innate set of abilities. Okay, so every character in that game basically had 3 trees in the RPG. And then there was like the 4th tree was skills you could choose that would change the character's gameplay fundamentally. And like, I think I've said this before, Punisher, like you had a close quarters tree, a long range tree, something like that. For Rogue, I distinctly remember that she had one tree that was just, here's Captain Marvel stuff, here's Carol Danvers stuff, because it's Rogue. Then the second tree was honestly fill in the blank. Because the first tree included an ability where Rogue reaches out and touches somebody. And if you reach out and touch any friendly hero, you pick up a unique ability, a unique move. If you reach out and touch any of the bosses, you pick up a unique move. If you reach out and touch several of the NPC quest givers, you get a unique move. And Rogue had about 20 empty move slots that she could fill in from whatever choices she wanted, stealing from any of the bosses or friendly heroes. And just, there you go. Just mix and match whatever moves you want from any other character in the game. That's Rogue.
Yeah.
Now, conversely, to go in the other direction, a genre that I am generally a big fan of, but there's one game or franchise that sticks out to me, and it ain't me. It don't me. It really don't me. Let us see. Ooh, I had an answer for a little bit there, but I'm currently in the sort of sleep-deprived state where my mind can only maintain one internalized topic at a time.
I mean, there's an easy joke here to be made, I think.
I love Dead Rising. I don't love Dead Risings that come after 1.
I didn't even think of that one, but that's true. I was thinking Bayonetta because it features Space Harrier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love character action games. I can very distinctly say, hey, yeah, I got no interest in Bayonetta 3. Not for gameplay reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's actually thank you, Addy. That's actually giving me a really good lead. Because I know there's got to be one character action game that I've just been like, no. See, the issue there is the one that springs to mind immediately is Devil May Cry 2. But that's a cop-out answer, because no one likes Devil May Cry 2. That game is ass.
Like, but DMC2 best game. Dante shoot, he cool.
Yeah. Just do the shoot bangs and do nothing else. Press the shoot bang button.
Yeah.
Until the final boss, which is the one that they got to actually design, rather than just, okay, just make something and give it 2 attacks. We need to ship this game in under 6 months.
You know what? If I knew how to do like ROM hacks and shit, I would at least try to make an edit of DMC2 that's the same game, but instead of press start to begin or whatever at the start, it just says press square to shoot.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
Replace it. There's no tutorial prompts in that game. Add them in.
Replace code in subtitles retroactively, so that whenever people talk, it says press square to shoot.
The game has subtitles.
Ah, okay. Then just replace the subtitles.
It's a Capcom game, and specifically, it's a Capcom game tangentially related to Resident Evil, which I'm pretty sure means that the game did not have a Japanese dub. They made an English dub, and Japanese players had to read subtitles.
Nice.
Because Resident Evil did not get a Japanese dub until, I believe, 6.
Nice.
Up until 6, Japanese Resident Evil players, a game made in Japan, had to read fucking subtitles.
But yeah. Then just change out all the subtitles so it says press square to shoot. All throughout the game, everyone is telling Dante how to shoot.
Yeah,
he needs to know.
Well, the great thing would be it being a split between what characters are actually saying, where characters are blatantly not saying Dante press square to shoot, but it's like the subtitles are in some bizarro language where everything gets translated to press square to shoot.
Yeah.
Dante, you need to go into town and kill the demon, whatever. Subtitles, press square to shoot.
Yeah.
This language has subtleties you could not imagine.
Like, depending on the context, you might get the different punctuation though. So like sometimes it's just a period. Sometimes it's an exclamation mark. Sometimes it's a question mark at the end.
Okay, I'm looking over at my game bookcase. I would not consider myself the biggest stealth gamer, but nonetheless, I quite like Metal Gear. I quite liked Hitman for a while. I haven't put as much time with Hitman as I really should have, but I nearly beat the first in the World of Assassination trilogy games. You know, I put a fair bit of time into just about all the big stealth game franchises. And I'm looking over at my game bookcase, and I see staring at me
Thief 2016.
Manhunt.
Oh. Allegedly, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be good.
Okay, well, let me correct that. I've never played the original Manhunt. I see looking at me Manhunt 2.
Ah.
Because Manhunt 1, yes, has a very creative story. And, you know, Brian Cox is in it, and he does a great job because he's Brian Cox. But I can't speak to what its quality. Manhunt 2 is rough. If you want to know what you play Manhunt 2 for, log into a YouTube account that is over 18. Then look up Manhunt 2 Kill Compilation. There you go. And even then, that's hard to watch. And we're all, you know, we've all got some experience with some pretty violent video games. Addy, you and me have played our share of Mortal Kombats, particularly the newer ones, which can get a little bit gruesome.
Yeah.
And you and I have both vocalized that we're not a big fan of the fatality style Mortal Kombat X and 11. And I've said before that I think the fatalities in Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11 get a bit too intense. But at the end of the day, I don't have to look away and go, oh, fuck. But Manhunt 2 is a game where I have to look away and go, oh, fuck. Not even because of the visuals, because it's PS2. You know, they're not quite Polygon men, but they're pretty close to Polygon men.
Yeah.
Hitting each other. And, you know, the animations are done very well, admittedly. But the power drill in the mouth kill can't really be that brutal when the character model taking the power drill to the mouth does not have a mouth. They have a 2D sprite of a mouth, and the drill is going in there. The issue is the noises. The sound engineer did a very good job of the sound of a power drill going into human gums. Or did a very good job of the sound of a human head being wrapped in a plastic bag while the human's still alive and trying to breathe. And the plastic bag getting in the way of that and causing the human to fail to breathe. And it's just Manhunt 2 is pretty well. If there was a gratuitous sex scene thrown in there, it would be the perfect representation of controversy chasing shock jock Rockstar. Rockstar at its very worst. At least for that time, where nowadays I would say that the Rockstar's issue is less shock jocking, because controversy does not create cash like it used to. That old Eric Bischoff wisdom has not held true. But the modern issue of Rockstar, of course, is the hand-holding and the railroading and the yada yada. But for Rockstar 20 years ago, oh Lord, 20 years ago, oh shit, time has come and gone quickly. But for Rockstar 20 years ago, Manhunt 2 is the perfect representation of, we are doing this just because it will get Jack, what's his fucking face? Jack Thompson to throw a big hissy fit, and that will make the news. And it'll get Arnold Schwarzenegger to throw a big hissy fit, and that'll make the news.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah, that's... Yeah. This one didn't go on long enough, though. if you ask me. So let's see. Let's throw one on there. Let's see. What's a genre that you know? There's got to be one in there that I'd really love, but it hasn't brought it about yet. You're waiting on it.
Dating sims. Addy, you know
Yeah.
this to be true.
Yeah. See, I think the issue there is for a dating sim to work for you, Pink, there needs to be a very strong sense of irony, and the women need to be bigger.
Facts.
Because the dating sims that are out, and I'm no expert, but the ones I've been exposed to, no sense of irony. It's, your Japanese games where it's like, I was hit by a car and now I'm in a fantasy world where I have a harem of slaves, but they like being slaves. Which immediately on its face, huge turnoff. And it's like, okay, for a 15-year-old Japanese boy who is deathly afraid of the idea that he may never lose his virginity, I can see where this might appeal. For a 15-year-old Japanese boy who was never raised to believe that women are human beings, I can see where this might appeal. But, I almost think of like the Western equivalent would be Leisure Suit Larry, where you are this schlub and the goal is defeat your schlubbiness by achieving by getting what women want. Though then I'm not much of a Leisure Suit Larry expert either. I would not be shocked if those games got particularly rapey. But on top of all that, they're always skinny, tiny women. These are dating sims made for G-men. I mean, he'll be the one to tell you. He's the one who was into tiny women out of us. And that's because he's not too tall of a man himself. And fair enough. Fair enough. I get that. Generally speaking, women don't shoot for men too far below their height, unfortunately, for my desire to get with women above 6 feet. But, Addy, do you have an answer stored up? Because there's probably a load of genres you can think of that are not your speed. But nonetheless, there's already been perhaps one that you liked, you got a taste of, and it's like, ooh, there could be something here.
And I guess an easy one there would just be to say like rhythm games, because I like rhythm games, but I haven't found the perfect one yet. I haven't found one where I go, okay, yes, this is the one that just plays well enough and has the right whatchamacallit, like notation for me to understand. Because my problem with rhythm games is that when I get into the zone, I stop being able to read the notations, and being able to read the notations is fairly important when you don't have the song memorized.
Yeah.
So like,
was there not that Japanese rhythm game about drumming? Did that still have notations?
Oh yes, Taiko no Tatsujin still has notations. It's just technically easier because it's 4 notations, 4 plus. You have 2 inputs, and or do you have 4 or do you have 2? You have 4. You have 4 inputs. So you have 4 inputs, and then you can mix and match those to do different things. But yeah, that's not particularly hard one to read. Like Guitar Hero isn't a particularly hard one to read. There's on the hardness scale, like next to those is like the Hatsune Miku dancing or whatever, the Diva something or other, and the Persona Dancing All Night games, which are the same games but reskinned.
Yeah.
So yeah, those ones are a bit harder for me, just because a lot of the times the whatchamacallit, the like bars move around. Like they made it so it's distracting the way that the notations work.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I forget if it's no, it has to be one of the Persona dancing games because I haven't played any of the Tatsunamiku ones. But the Persona dancing games also have the thing that's something that the Japanese rhythm games do, where you have the touchpad and you have to interact with the touchpad to make sure that the inputs count, which can be confusing.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite end you have OS, where it's just like, all right, so you have a drawing tablet. Your thing is to follow the stuff that in rhythm, but the stuff can appear anywhere. I have not played OS. I don't think I could play OS. I think that's antithetical to how I process information. So yeah, like
I have a stupid question.
yeah.
Would a solid answer for you as well be roguelikes and roguelites?
I don't know, cause I really liked Enter the Gungeon. It's just I've fallen out
Oh, that's
of
right.
yeah, I've fallen out of love with the genre. Cause yeah, I really liked Enter the Gungeon, and I really liked like Wizard of Legend. I liked Slay the Spire, and let's see what else. I feel like there was another one that I'm forgetting, but whatever. So there's a couple of roguelites that I like. It's just that like I am tired of the whole thing. Like it's one of those things where like they're good time wasters for me. That's how I view them, because the overarching narrative, if there is one, is very minimal to make it so you can actually do the random stuff and have it make some sense. But it also means that I don't really get invested into the game, and if I'm not invested in the game, then I'll play it whenever I want to, like, not pay attention to a game or whatever. But otherwise, I don't like I'm not really sticking around,
Yeah.
I mean, let's see, what modern action adventure, I guess, maybe.
Oh, that's a broad pick there.
Yeah, I mean, cause like I don't know, cause like the thing here that's keeping me from this is just like, or being able to give a more definite answer, is just the waiting for it to happen, because like I don't expect there to be a racing game that really makes me go, yeah, I love racing games now, because it's just gonna turn into another Flat Out 2 where I go, yeah, Flat Out 2 is good. I don't like any other racing game, more or less, but Flat Out 2 is good.
Oh, I wasn't meaning like one that turns you on to the genre, because like that would, I think, to really consider yourself a genre fan, a fan of a specific genre, you have to love the ones that are just considered good. You have to like the ones that are mediocre. You have to even be willing to put up with the ones that are bad, right?
Yeah.
I'm a character action game fan. I love the ones that are good. I like the ones that are mediocre. I put up with the ones that are bad.
Yeah.
Because I've certainly enjoyed some character action games that sucked. Avengers, hey!
Yeah. I don't know. It seemed interesting, the like 20 whole minutes that we could play before it disconnected us.
Yeah. Well, now that like you get all the content out the gate, and also thankfully now that the cast is like over double the size, so if you don't care for the starting 6, well, like Hawkeye's right there, Black Panther's right there. They're both very cool characters in that game.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye should have been in there at launch.
Yeah. I remember when we played, they added Hawkeye recently, so I was playing as Hawkeye. I don't remember who you were, because I think we met up like twice and we were doing a mission together.
Yeah.
Which was the most ridiculous thing of like we spent, I think, 5 minutes trying to look for each other, and we could see each other eventually, but like we didn't even enter the mission from the same spot.
Yep. There was a lot that went wrong with that game, but in hindsight, one of the many things that did go wrong with that game was that Black Panther and the Wakanda stuff was really cool. they delayed all of it because of Chadwick Boseman's passing.
Yeah.
And like, by all means, the game had already been more or less screwed by that point. It had already become the icon of a lot of what was wrong with gaming. So, and you can't outlive that reputation.
The icon of sin, if you may.
Yeah, there you go. The icon of sin. Let me throw in real quick.
Yeah.
For a genre that I know there must be at some point a game that I'll love. But so far, it's been like, yeah. There's going to be one that I know is near and dear to Pink's heart. But I don't know if there's a proper word for this, but I'm going to just go ahead and say multiplayer slasher games. Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, that kind of thing. Because Dead by Daylight, I respect a lot of what Dead by Daylight does. The ambition is unmatched. The amount of content is unmatched. However, I have big issues with the way Dead by Daylight works on a fundamental level.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember the name for that genre, asymmetrical multiplayer.
See, now I wouldn't cast that broad of a brush stroke because there have been a lot of asymmetrical multiplayer games that I did really enjoy. I guess it would have to be a subgenre, I suppose.
Perhaps.
Albeit one that's very popular. Friday the 13th was even quite popular in its time. It just had to stop because, hey, we can't keep the license.
Yeah, there's also that, like, the thing for me is that, like, I'm sure that other asymmetrical multiplayer games exist. It's just the ones that I can remember are, like, Evolve, which was kind of Dead by Daylight, but with their own made-up stuff, and instead of, like, slashers, it was one big monster against 5 guys. Or, like Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th, or the Dragon Ball game that's coming out, which is Dead by Daylight. Yeah.
Evolve was built in such a way. It's one of the big issues I have with Dead by Daylight is the capability that the players have to shut down the fun for the other side. Like, there's a lot of things you can really do. Like, the killer's ability to just face camp a hook. And I know that's a thing I always go back to, but to me it's just so insulting that is explicitly a capability the killer has to choose one survivor player in specific and just say, you know what, I'm mad today, I'm just going to shut down the game for you, and the other survivors can do whatever the hell they want. I'm just going to shut down the game for you in specific.
Yep.
And, like, say what you will about Evolve, the monster did not have the ability to just shut down the game for one of the hunters outright, especially from the jump, like you can in Dead by Daylight from the start of the game. Because when you start off Evolve, the monster is super weak, and if he tries to fuck with the hunters, they'll just kill him.
Yeah.
Like, part of the nature of asymmetric multiplayer games is that generally they're going to be designed somewhat eccentrically and experimentally to begin with. So I feel I don't like comparing. Generally, I don't like comparing them. Comparing Friday the 13th to Dead by Daylight. You think I have issues with Dead by Daylight? My God, I'm glad we never got into Friday the 13th because that is one game where it's like, okay, Jason has found you. You're dead. Were you the first to die? Okay, you get a second life as Tommy Jarvis. Were you the second or third or fourth to die? Get Fucked. Fucked. Hope you enjoy spectating the rest of the match, dipshit.
Yeah. But yeah,
and that one could go on a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, part of what you brought up, are also why I didn't enjoy Dead by Daylight all that much, because, like, I have no connection to these IPs, the ones that are paid. I don't really care for their original characters. And then, like, the gameplay
just different issue.
But yeah, and then I was just gonna say, like, on top of that, the gameplay, they think of, like, okay, so, you know, there's all of these written rules. If you don't play by those, you're an asshole. People can just choose to be an asshole, and you don't get to play. They can be either on your team, on the enemy, or the enemy.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, and then you're supposed to do this or that or this. That's why eventually, whenever we played together, I would either just do gens or try to be bait, because like I those are two states where I know what I'm doing. But other than that, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know about like finding fucking totems.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight certainly also developed a hard meta, which if you don't know to get into, then you can't, which is admittedly just going to partly be a problem with any game that has customization like that. I don't know. I've always wondered at the mystery of Team Fortress 2, how it can be what it is.
I mean, Team Fortress 2,
And like,
to me, the difference between, like, the major difference between Team Fortress 2 and Dead by Daylight, to me, is just how different the games feel, in the sense that, like, in Dead by Daylight, the most positive interaction you'll get with a killer is either if they actually, if you actually do a horror movie, or alternatively, if they're just fucking farming. Meanwhile, in Team Fortress 2, someone can start dancing, and then you can just join in, and then suddenly there's no match.
well, yeah, that is a big difference maker. Dead by Daylight probably would be a much friendlier environment if matches could just randomly break out into the conga. What would you do if the killer started congaing in Dead by Daylight, Pink?
That would be pretty epic. I don't know how I'd react.
And it really depends on which killer it is.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest, if Ghostface started doing a conga dance, I don't think I'd even blink. I'd just go, yeah, that's Ghostface.
Yeah, that's Ghostface for you.
Yeah, I was about
But
to
if
say.
the alien starts congaing, I've got questions. If Pinhead starts congaing,
I mean, I'm just even imagining that they introduce in a patch or whatever, in an update, they introduce the interactive dance emotes, where the killer or the survivor can start dancing, and then the others can join in. So like Ghostface just starts doing that dance where you act like you're lassoing people.
oh yeah.
And then since this is an emote, he can just break out of it and stab you once you actually go there.
Well, naturally, right?
Yeah.
Though in TF2, no one ever does that. It's the one player that comes along that doesn't get in on the bit that just lays Demo Man sticky bombs and kills half the partiers.
Yeah. Or the pyro, in our case.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. I wonder how much of it comes down to also just like casually pop in, and the team's not really having a set limit a lot of the time. Though I guess there is like a ranked sphere to TF2 that just I never interacted with. But like I think of Overwatch, and Overwatch has so much less it's so much more difficult to get into. And I guess part of there is, I don't know, Valve, like Team Fortress is very well balanced, it's very delicately balanced. Overwatch has had some balance issues and some strange decisions from up top of like, no, we want this character class to be bad. We don't want you to play we don't want you to play Lucio.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Yeah, don't play healers if their name is not Brigida. If their name is Brigida, you might still want to not play them.
I don't see a Reinhardt on this team. What is your problem?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I don't see 5 Reinhardts on his team. What is wrong with you?
You know, the lead dude, that perfectly nice dude who always got turned into fucking memes anytime something stupid happened in Overwatch. Like, you're playing Overwatch and you've got a tank on your team. It's Roadhog. He just walks over to each individual player of the team and just full, like, palm of the hand slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, oh boy. I mean, hell, just because we're in the moment right now, what's a game you can think of? I used to really like this game, then there was an update that ruined it.
Oh boy, do you want to talk about fucking Assassin's Creed again?
Was there an
Being
Assassin's
on the
Creed game that was ruined by an
Ubisoft
update?
bandwagon right now, Rainbow Six Siege and all their
Oh
great
shit!
developer updates.
I mean,
What's
like
up with Siege?
patches updates, not as in a sequel update, Eddie.
What's up with Siege, Pink?
Everything's up with Siege. They're balancing changes. Yeah, I go in motions with Siege. I'll have some months where I'll play it and I like it, and then they'll make a balance change that they don't need to, and then I won't like it, and then I'll stop playing it. And this happens like on a 6-month rotation. Like right now, I'm not playing Siege. In a couple of months, maybe I will be playing Siege. Well, we'll see. But
What I
they always
distinctively remember was you saying they made this change and that change, and I went, "Oh, that's not so bad." And then you said, "Also, they nerfed mute through the floor," and I went, "What?"
yeah. That was the change that angered me the most because Mute was one of the most solid, most well-rounded, most balanced operators in the game. And then Ubisoft was like, "Hey, he's got a standard pick rate, a standard win rate. If anything, it's a little bad at the moment, but he performs well at a very, very, very high level in our ranked scene." So we're gonna take away Mute Jammer, and also we're gonna decrease the radius of his Mute Jammers, and also he's not gonna be able to Mute Jam the walls or the ceilings. And also, if the drones go through the Mute Jammer, they'll be staticky, but they won't be stopped. And also, actually, we're gonna just turn his Mute Jammers off completely. But have fun with your basic vanilla ass recruit now.
Yeah, that is just mystifying. Mystifucking-fying.
So yeah, those are still the types of changes that they're implementing that I don't agree with and don't support their game over because they look at their little charts, see what's being used a lot, see what's not being used effectively enough, and then they're like, okay, we've got all these top fraggers with super high pick rates, super high win rates. We're gonna tinker with the damage output of their guns, but also all these characters in the straight up middle of the pack, the people with moderate win rates, moderate pick rates, those guys really need to change. We gotta nerf some of these people because, you need to be picked a lot or you need to be picked not at all. And these people rounding out the stats here, that's just too problematic for us. So, Frost, one of the worst performing operators in the game, but, gets a kill every now and again with her Frost traps. We're going to remove the ability to kill with Frost traps. We're going to have it where the Frost traps only disable an operator, but they'll still be fine. They won't die. And Fuse, we're going to increase the amount of cluster bombs he gets. But, all those other things that he has wrong with him, it'll be fine. We'll just remove all his scopes entirely. It'll balance itself out. Oh, and Glaz, he could see through smoke. That got a little bit too overpowered, so we're gonna take away his thermal scope if he moves at all. So yeah. Oh, and also
we decided
Jackal.
we're gonna deal with the lion issue a few years too late. We've made it so that now when he pops his little ability there, or excuse me, who's the one that came with lion? Finka?
Finka, yeah.
Yeah, lion was Mr. Sees Through Walls. Finka, okay. We decided we're gonna fix the Finka complaints after all these years. Finka, now when she pops her ability, no longer provides a heal or gets people up from when they're incapacitated. Now your teammates will just get a little pop-up on their screen saying, Finka supports you.
Finka thinks you're doing really well.
It's just a pop-up with fucking like mental health numbers. But also, I thought you were gonna say like we fixed Lion by making it so whenever he pops his ability, you see him through walls instead.
Yeah. No, that was the change they made to Brazilian chick. What's her name?
Kavira.
Kavira, thank you. Yes.
But yeah, like here's the thing though. The thing that you're not considering. As long as Fortnite guy is at the top of the win-loss ratios, everything is perfectly balanced.
When he has an open, screaming mouth, the sales numbers go up.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't given the Fortnite guy in Siege a Luke from Streets outfit yet.
A what?
Luke from Street Fighter.
What does Luke from Street Fighter have to do with Fortnite?
Look at him.
What if I Luke at him?
What if you look at this photograph? Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
Great band.
But yeah. I guess for upgrades that turn me off of a game that I like. I mean, I was gonna say Smite, but that's just the natural order of things. Of like, I play Smite for like 3 months, and then I don't play it again for like another year and a half.
Yeah.
And technically, I could actually answer Assassin's Creed here, but it didn't turn me off of the game. But there was a time in Origins' lifespan where they nerfed the graphics of the game, and it changed nothing aside from the game looking worse.
What?
Yeah. So Origins used to run fine, completely okay when it released. And then 6 months into the game's lifespan, they rolled out a patch that made the game look worse, and it didn't increase FPS.
Oh, was that the patch notes made game look worse?
I think the genuine patch notes was something along the lines of decreased like fidelity or something like that. Like they fixed other issues as well, but like
Made game uglier, stupid.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things where, like, if the game like ran like shit or whatever, then you'd understand because they're trying to make the game at least run good. But the game ran fine, and there's no difference in the performance between and after the patch. The game just looks worse.
Oh man, Ubisoft.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of those patches where, like, it's a befuddling of why it happened. I guess, do you have one of those more concrete ones?
Well,
While
I did already.
Yeah, go ahead.
The strongest one to me still is that I can really distinctively think of off the top of my head. It's still very much Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
A game that I really thoroughly enjoyed in beta, and I liked playing a lot of Lucio. And there's only been a couple times we popped in Overwatch after that, and I remember I would pick Lucio, and Lucio just stunk. And Mercy, similarly, not very good. And Zenyatta also did not feel very good. And it increasingly felt like I had to always just pick, well, here's McCree, I guess, a character I can still somewhat play. And specifically, McCree, who is a really good tank killer. Because Reinhardt was fairly popular in the beta, but now every team has a Reinhardt.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, my like stuff with my story with Overwatch is funny because I only played it during the free weekends. I still don't own any copy of it, even the free one that is Overwatch 2. But yeah, and then like I wanted to play Junkrat, and then I seldom did. Most of the time I played Zenyatta because people would immediately just like lock in Genji and Hanzo, I think.
Hanzo.
Yeah.
Hanzo. See, that's a classic TF2 problem. Guys, we need more classes that can actually contest the point. No, fuck you. I'm gonna be the 7th sniper on the team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the one that gets the headshots.
Yeah. Pink can tell you because we used to play together a bit when it was free weekends, and like a lot of the times I was just like when I switched to Junkrat, it was just like, all right, fuck it, we're not winning this anyway.
Well, I loved Overwatch never really had an equivalent to this because Torbjorn was never really that strong. But the TF2 Classic is watching the entire team throw themselves at an engineer nest with abandon, dying in droves. And our best attempt at beating the engineer is, well, let's all pick spy. Okay, maybe if the engineer's fucking brain dead, yes, he'll let you get close to that. But no, somebody pick goddamn Demo Man. No, we pick spy. Why? I love Demo Man. I don't want to play Demo Man in every single game of TF2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to play Scout. And Scout, there is no class more hard countered by an engineer nest than the fucking Scout.
Yeah, I think a problem that we run into with our class-based games is that usually we fill. So it means a lot of times at least one of us doesn't get to have fun because we need to fill into a role that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'd say that
that's
yeah, what?
From like MOBAs. Like that, well, that one can really be an issue in MOBAs because, like, what are the two roles that always get taken? Assassin and Hunter, right?
Yeah.
And none of us are at this point huge Guardian players. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Perhaps Pink. Pink?
Hang on a second, I'm texting my parents.
Alright.
Okay.
Repeat your question.
MOBAs, for instance, like Addy was talking about how we're always stuck. Each of us is really a Phil player on a team. Not Phil as in PHIL.
Yeah, Dr. Phil.
I heard that part, that we're all Phil players and that it means we're not playing the characters that I actually want to play. So,
but
go ahead.
I was just thinking of MOBAs as one game where, yeah, that is distinctively like, for instance, if any of us feels like playing an assassin, it's fairly rare on a MOBA, or feels like playing mage, because yeah, that's one that gets taken a lot more than Hunter. Mage and Smite is always taken, and
yeah,
I guess using MOBAs broadly, I shouldn't be using the terms mage or assassin or hunter, because then it should be like,
carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 second.
Carry
attack,
and lane,
carry, ability
I think.
carry, attack, carry, ability carry, support, jungle,
lane,
and
like
what's the term?
Mage is usually lane if memory serves.
Yeah, mid lane dude.
Yeah.
If mid lane is sometimes ability damage, isn't it?
It can be whatever, really, as long as you can clear the minis and hold.
Yeah. But, like, it's not very often in Smite that any of us gets to play Mage. Yeah. That's always going to be... Mage is by far the class that has the most gods in Smite.
And the most variety.
And it's generally... It's the one that gets to have the big AoE attacks. Oftentimes, it's the one that gets to have the big damage attacks. And it's how we end up with, hey, I'm gonna pick Raw, and I'm gonna dive into the center of their formation. And if I die, it's all y'all's fault.
Yeah. It's also how we get the panic picks, where it's like, oh shit, no one took mage. It's the one game where no one takes mage. I guess I'm hell now.
Shit. Thoth?
Yeah. Or for me, hell was the panic pick because hell can do whatever. Like hell is hard to do good, but because hell can both damage and heal, she's never bad to have on a team unless she's literally not doing anything. The problem
Yeah.
with that though is that because it's so rare that we get to play mage, is that you get rusty. So like
Yes.
even if you have a good hell, eventually you won't, and you will only get to play hell next time eventually.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say, I think probably my fave mage character that I can recall in Smite is Zeus. I have not gotten to play Zeus in years.
Ah,
I mean, I want to say every time we played Smite in the last 2 to 3 years, I have more or less consistently been warrior,
yeah,
maybe assassin, but it's mostly been warrior.
yeah. It kind of feels like we've all got our like two roles that we can take whenever, and then we just kind of switch around who's doing what. Because like technically we can do whatever, we can fill any role, but at the same time you're usually warrior or assassin. I'm usually hunter or guardian. Pink's usually healer, whatever that means. Like,
And the trouble can be sometimes you have that role, but there's only really one hero you're particularly good with.
yeah.
Like, I would play assassin a fair bit. I wasn't really any good with, like, but 1 or 2 assassins.
Yeah, and then
Lord knows I tried, but oh boy.
yeah, and then for me, I would just play the characters long enough to be able to play them out of meta. Like, sure, Sylvanas is a guardian. If you ignore that he can snipe people, and people most of the time people ignore that he can snipe people even on the enemy team. So
Yeah, you and Soon both settled into that. Both ran for that pretty quickly. But I could like detect different motivations there. Kassoon did it. Kassoon spent a shit ton of time with Smite. So for him, he spent long enough with the game that he gets an inherent crack out of like turning things on their head because he's so used to things the way they are. With you, it quickly turned into a thing of like, I don't want to like throw myself into the meta here too hard. I don't play this game enough to really know the meta. I don't want to learn the meta. The meta is boring. I'm going to play characters wrong on purpose because I get a kick out of that, and that isn't the meta.
yeah, that's a part of that, and also at least sometimes people don't expect you to play Sylvanas as a hunter while also still building him guardian.
Yeah.
Because like that was my thing. Because like you can definitely build Sylvanas to be a hunter. He won't be a good one, but you can build him as a hunter. But he'd be a bit underwhelming actually, because he wasn't built to be one. But if you get used to how he plays as a guardian, then you can build him as a guardian, still fulfill your role as a guardian, and then also on the side snipe people, which is where I get my enjoyment out of Hunter Sylvanas. Of like, it's not just that I'm playing as a guardian, I'm also double classing as a hunter while doing the guardian stuff. And people in arena at least don't really expect that. I don't think you could do that as effectively in Conquest.
Yeah. Well, that's one particular odd thing with Smite and MOBAs in general is that the game mode we would all play was not really the classic 3-lane, 30 minutes to an hour MOBA match.
Yeah. But yeah, then I guess even with my hunters, cause like you could see that I like the double classing, cause my two hunters that I played the most are Uller, who has a stance switch that switches in between hunter and assassin, and Danzaburo.
Yep.
And Danzaburo, who has a chase that makes him an assassin effectively.
Yeah.
So yeah. Although, like, the Danzaburo, it was one of those things where for years playing Smite, I was like, man, I wish Junkrat was in this game. Because I really like Junkrat. And then Danzaburo came out. And he is Junkrat.
Come to think of it, I guess that was a little bit odd then. When I went hunter, I always went with Cobb, who is like the hunteriest hunter that ever lived, has no chase skills, no escape skills, Well, no, he's not really the hunteriest hunter he ever lived because he has such good AoE, so he's got a little bit of the mage going on, I guess. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the hunteriest hunter that ever lived?
Hachi?
Oh, I never played Hachi, but didn't Hachi have really good close quarter stuff and really good pursuit stuff?
He had good pursuit. He didn't really have good close quarters. He had his sword slash that he can chase with. He had his horse. He could chase it, but that was also his ult. And then he had his buff that you can call down, but if you do it on the enemy, then it hurts them. Which like the buff was really his long shot that Ullr has. Like I adapted to playing Ullr very fairly easily because I used to play Hachiman a lot, and they play fairly similar, at least in Ullr's counter moveset.
What about Xbalanque?
See, I never played Xbalanque.
I want to say his abilities were just the like he jumps up in the air and spits blow darts everywhere, which didn't really do damage, just applied debuffs. But like his main gimmick, really, other than the notorious stop moving asshole, was he could switch between different ammo types. But he was still fundamentally it's a hunter.
Yeah. I guess similarly on I'm forgetting his name. The satyr.
Oh yeah. I was about to. I nearly said Carnunos, which was not.
No, it is
correct.
Carnunos.
Oh, I was thinking of Chiron.
No, Chiron is not a satyr.
Yeah, Chiron is a centaur. Crap.
Yeah, Carnunos.
Yeah.
Because Carnunos' whole kit is just I switch between elements. Also, I guess I can stun you sometimes. Or pig.
Yeah. And then there was, oh, help me here, Greek huntress goddess.
Artemis,
who had her abilities, but they're mostly pretty weird ones. Most of what she boiled down to was huntressing.
Yeah.
There probably weren't any straighter mages than Raw, were there? He does mage shit. He doesn't really do anything else.
Yeah, not really. I guess do we count Merlin as being more of a mage than Raw because he can do 3 times as much mage shit?
Merlin is a menace.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Were there any harder support-based characters than Guardian? Any? Oh no. Help! Were there any more hard guard? Who was the hardest guard? Which guardian?
The hardest guardian?
Which guardian was the most guardian?
Fucking forgetting his name. The guy who gives you the kills. Yeah, Ganesh. Why did I think that was Kumbhakarna? Yeah.
Ganesh hands out free kills to his teammates, but in terms of like the way he moves and plays, he plays like a very aggressive character.
Yeah, I'd say the most support tank guardian that I recall would probably be Geb.
Yeah, I was also.
Oh yeah.
Geb specials are like crowd control and repositioning the enemy and then protecting your teammates, literally. So, yeah, it was just a lot of status effects and debuffs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember if you ever played much Geb, but Geb is one guardian in particular where there's an experience sometimes with playing Guardian and Smite, but Geb's the worst about it. Of if the rest of the team gets wiped and you're just left alone with the enemy team, it's almost like just kind of an awkward moment of you all being left standing alone. Because they can't really kill Geb. Geb's kind of unkillable. At the same time, Geb can't really put out damage to save his fucking life.
Yeah, so you're just standing in lane going, please clap.
Yeah, or I feel like I remember similar things happening with, I'm probably wrong here, but I feel like I remember similar experiences with Khepri.
Khepri can get way, yeah.
Yeah. because he's very. Those two are definitely very similar.
Yeah, the only major difference to me is that the Gevzap face seemed a lot more sturdy than the Capris.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who's another one that springs to mind? And Pink, you'll probably disagree with this because you spent a lot more time with her than I did. Terra.
Terra. No, I can see that. She kind of waffles. I think she was one of the Guardians that actually, depending on how you built her, made a significant difference in how she played or how you could best utilize her abilities. And I want to say there was a patch a little later on over the years that made her less of a versatile Guardian and more of a like straight up support, similar to who's a tree?
Oh, Sylvanas.
Sylvanas, yeah. I want to say they nerfed a lot of her damaging abilities and gave her a lot of passive healing abilities to the team. But I don't recall specifically or in specifics because that was also around the time where I was playing Smite a lot less. So I have a lot less memories of that Terra than the old Terra.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why we trailed off into this, but I guess we might as well finish it what we started, finish our plate. You know, I would think when I would think to myself like, okay, what's the straightest assassin? It would seem like the obvious answer is Loki, but not really.
I mean, that depends. Are we talking about are we talking about Decoy Loki or are we talking about Shrekcom Loki?
They changed how Decoy worked, didn't they?
Yep.
Right, yeah, because old Decoy Loki was a fantastic laner.
Yeah, and now
Stunningly for a class that is specifically built around being terrible at laning.
yeah, and then they changed Decoy, so I think the minis don't pay attention to it. But if you put it under someone's feet, then it covers the screen with Shrekcom. That's what the actual update notes said. Word for word.
Yeah, very big change there. Huh. I guess, yeah, post-update Loki probably would be then the straightest assassin since he's lost his big laning tool.
Yeah, either him or Bakasura.
Yeah, Baka doesn't really have many options except jump in, kill somebody, jump out.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to throw Fenrir into the hat as well.
Yeah, Fenrir also kind of has the same
Fenrir
issue.
was very much the quintessential assassin of go in, get kill. If you don't get kill and you get surrounded, you die. But if you do, you get to run away like little doggy that you are.
I thought you were gonna say go in, get killed.
Go and get killed is what you do most often, especially at the start of the match.
Yeah.
See, yeah, it's the great thing about me being the assassin guy is that every now and then I do exceptionally well and I lead the team in kills and I'm like, I'm the greatest. Most of the time that I play assassin, it's I'm the feeder. Okay.
It's you rock cancel that.
Yep. Warrior, I struggle to think. Is there really that straight of a warrior? Like a warriorist of warriors?
Either Guan or I feel like there's someone I used to play who was very much just like the warriorist warrior. Oh, pre-patched Odin.
Oh, well, no, I would say
I disagree with pre-patch Odin because to me that was very much more of an assassin warrior, similar to Achilles. Achilles has the potential to be a very straight warrior, but he's also got a lot of assassin tendencies as well.
Yeah, they're both almost in the similar way where there's assassins who are on the fringe of being warriors, like Thor or help me here, the Hindu god.
Vaman.
He punches and builds up shield.
Is it Vaman or is it Vamana?
Vamana.
Ravana, yeah. Ravana's in like Ravana, Thor, Odin. They're all on the cusp between warrior and assassin. It was just decided, like, well, Ravana and Thor are warrior or are assassins, and Odin's a warrior.
Yep.
Nemesis too. She's a big one where we've seen some nemesis down the years that built absurdly tanky, and it's like, what do you mean she's an assassin?
Yeah. I guess Tyr, maybe?
Ooh,
I
Tyr?
kind of want to say Amaterasu.
Oh yeah, she could work too, yeah.
Yeah, Amaterasu's kind of the one that's like demands attention, pretty tanky, not actually that good at getting kills, but she's just annoying enough and provides enough enough things that demand attention that she does get to take the attention away from her teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like even like Guan Yu still is like very heal focused, so he can be very Guardian-esque in that way. Because if you're not throwing out heals as Guan Yu constantly, you're just not playing Guan Yu, because then you're missing out on the entire focus of Guan Yu of lowering everything's cooldowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would be Amy. Yeah, I mean, I almost want to say. Then there's Wukong, who was just kind of a weirdo on his own as well.
Yeah, if Wukong didn't have as much chase as he does, I would have brought him up, but he can turn into a hawk.
Yeah, Wukong's also got really good laning for a warrior too, though. He's just one of the odd ones on the roster, I suppose. Just in terms of like weirdness, he kind of reminds me of like Hades. I can't remember. Is Hades considered a guardian or a mage?
A mage.
Mage.
Okay, but he's also clearly got heavy tinges of both guardian and assassin.
Yep.
Like Hades is one of the few guys in that game that's arguably like triple classing.
Yeah.
Like I don't even really think of Hades as that much of a mage, because like it's been a long time since I've played Hades. But is Hades really any good at laning? I don't remember him being any good at laning.
Not really, no. But I mean, with these ones, the funny part is that like these characters did used to be the other class. Like Thor and Ravana used to be warriors. Hades used to be a guardian years ago.
Yeah, but like Emir gets to stay a guardian. Nobody plays Emir like a guardian.
Yeah.
Like notoriously jungle Emir.
Yeah. Although it would be funny if suddenly Emir and I'm forgetting his name, Fat Loki, were both put into the assassin pool.
Cabrakan.
Yeah, Cabrakan.
Cabrakan, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the leading smite expert. I'm not sure how Cabrakan ever got put as a guardian.
He's
like,
thick.
The earthquake ability. The earthquake ability is very much a guardian thing. That one I will definitely say, yeah, that makes sense. That's a guardian thing. Not very good damage. You just fuck up the enemy team and set them up for everybody else's kills.
Yeah.
But every other piece of Cabrakan's kit is very much assassin, if memory serves. I set up a little half arena. I lock you in here with me. I hit you with a big stun, and I hit you with as much damage as I can in as few seconds as possible.
Yeah.
That's an assassin. All right, there we go. So I believe we could probably call this one a podcast.
Yeah.
Addy, what would you call this?
Bye.
I'm going back to sleep. I'm going to set an alarm.